Today we unpack the NVIDIA Groq 3 LPU, unveiled at GTC 2026 on March 16th. It is the first chip from NVIDIA's $20 billion Groq licensing deal signed December 24th, 2025. Built by Samsung on 4 nanometers, it carries 512 megabytes of on-chip SRAM and 150 terabytes per second of bandwidth, and SLOTS into the Vera Rubin platform as a dedicated decode coprocessor, shipping Q3 2026. In the next few minutes, we cover what it is, how SRAM beats HBM for decode, and why it matters. Let's start with the core idea behind Groq 3 LPU SRAM Inference. Here are the essentials of Groq 3 LPU SRAM Inference in plain language, what it is, and why it was introduced. The Groq 3 LPU debuted at GTC 2026 on March 16th. It is the first silicon from NVIDIA's $20 billion Groq licensing and talent deal struck December 24th, 2025, and it ships in the third quarter of 2026. Each LPU packs 512 megabytes of on-chip SRAM, delivering 150 terabytes per second of bandwidth. That dwarfs the roughly 22 terabytes per second from the 288 gigabytes of HBM4 on each Rubin GPU, which is why decode runs at SRAM speed. Samsung manufactures the LPU on a 4 nanometers process. It runs a deterministic data flow graph with no cache hierarchy or speculative execution, so each clock cycle executes the same operations in the same order, giving predictable latency. The LPU SLOTS into the Vera Rubin platform as a dedicated decode phase coprocessor. Rubin GPUs handle the compute-heavy prefill phase, and the Groq LPU takes over generating output tokens at low latency. Now let us look at why Groq 3 LPU SRAM Inference matters in practice. Here is where Groq 3 LPU SRAM Inference shows up in real products, teams, and decisions. Token generation reads model weights sequentially with low arithmetic intensity, so HBM's hundreds of nanoseconds per fetch latency dominates. Keeping all weights in 512 megabytes of SRAM at 150 terabytes per second removes that memory wall during decode. A full Groq 3 LPX rack houses 256 LPUs for 128 gigabytes of total SRAM and 40 petabytes per second of aggregate bandwidth, scaling the decode advantage across an entire AI factory rack. NVIDIA claims an LPX rack paired with a Vera Rubin NVL72 delivers up to 35 times higher throughput per megawatt than Blackwell NVL72 alone for trillion parameter models, targeting roughly $45 per million tokens. To apply this, disaggregate inference. Route the prefill phase to HBM-based Rubin GPUs for long contexts, then hand decode to the SRAM-based LPU. This split is how the Vera Rubin platform cuts token generation latency. Let us recap the key takeaways on Groq 3 LPU SRAM Inference and what to do next. The Groq 3 LPU, revealed at GTC 2026, is NVIDIA's first non-GPU inference accelerator, born from the $20 billion Groq deal and shipping Q3 2026 inside the Vera Rubin platform. With 512 megabytes of SRAM at 150 terabytes per second versus around 22 terabytes per second from Rubin's HBM4, the LPU runs the memory-bound decode phase far faster than any HBM-based GPU can. Samsung builds the LPU on 4 nanometers with a deterministic data flow design that has no cache or speculation, delivering predictable, low-latency token generation cycle after cycle. The takeaway is disaggregation. Rubin GPUs do prefill, LPUs do decode, and a 256 LPU LPX rack reportedly reaches 35 times the throughput per megawatt of Blackwell alone. We have covered why NVIDIA spent $20 billion to put SRAM-based Groq 3 LPUs inside the Vera Rubin platform, and how 150 terabytes per second of on-chip bandwidth reshapes the decode phase of inference shipping in Q3 2026. For more information, visit standarity.com. See you in the next video.